It has been nearly a full year since the Attack on Titan anime series has came to an end, and I personally miss this series because I do believe it is the best animated series I've ever seen. Whether you agree with me or not, but that's not here nor there. It's been a little while since we've done an Attack on Titan video, and this thumbnail kinda caught my eye. You see, a while back I purposely chose to put Eren and Armin as the thumbnail for this video, which will be linked at the end of this video, teehee. But I couldn't help but wonder, why did I choose to do that? It's obvious because Eren Yeager is the main character of the Attack on Titan series. However, Armin Arlert is simply not. So why was he important enough for me to put him on the thumbnail of this video? As you can assume, I'm only going to talk about Armin in this one, because Armin Arlert is a unique character. A character that really stretches the line between what is good and what is bad. While we do see him, especially in the 4th season, as a hero, there's a lot of times that we see him doing the quote-unquote wrong thing. So for this one, let's just talk about Armin Arlert as a whole and what he brings to the Attack on Titan series. And in the end, we can answer the question, is he actually a hero or technically a villain? So to start off, let's just begin looking at Armin as a character as well as his backstory. We are well aware that many people within Walmaria were subjected to the Titans. If you live on Paradis Island, then you're basically within the walls and there's no way to escape. And from what we see, Armin Arlert never had his actual parents around. And I'm serious, you're not going to find a screenshot of him either. At a young age, Armin's caretaker was actually his grandfather, which is an admirable thing to do because while Armin is not his kid, it's still your blood, so he took care of him. However, due to unfortunate events, his grandfather eventually dies and he's left alone. Now, we also need to point out that Armin was also very timid as a young man. And this continues throughout majority of the season, but Armin is not a fighter. We see that he's gifted with more what's up here compared to what's down there. I'm talking about his arms, people, chill out. So because of this, Armin was usually bullied. However, Eren as well as Mikasa was always around him to help. Another important thing that we have to look at is what Armin really wanted within his life. Armin never dreamt about having money or fame or really anything like that. He really believed in a goal that Eren Yeager believed in as well, which is freedom. And that word freedom goes to a different extent depending on the person. Armin always wanted to see the sea. The sea that would shine like it's lava or whatever the crap he said. You know what I'm talking about. That was his freedom, to see nature and to see what's outside the walls. And that really sums up who this character is. If he was able to somehow get to this goal, his dreams would be satisfied. And as you can assume, or you've probably seen, he eventually within season 3 gets there. Now let's pause here for a second because I believe what Armin wanted as his initial goal stops here. The truth is, from here into the end of Attack on Titan, Armin's character changes. And it's not necessarily that Armin wants to change compared to that he has to change. By this time in the story, the scouts have a substitute leader within Hanji. On top of that, to spare Armin's life, they had to ensure that he ate Berto and therefore he became one of the transforming Titans. Now at this point, since he is one of the 9 as well as expected to have one of the leadership roles within the scouts, well, his goal from reaching the sea is going to become much bigger. Let's talk about the change of Armin Arlert within season 4. By the time season 4 rolls around for Attack on Titan, there's a time skip. Within the timeline, this is going into the point where Eren Yeager decides to do, well, you know what he does. But before we get to the climax of what Eren Yeager does, it all starts off with a specific point. Eren Yeager chooses to go across the seas by himself, causing the other Eldians to have to react. Now this right here is a very pivotal moment of the series, but that's more for Eren. You see, because of this, Armin Arlert also has to go across seas not only to help fight, but Armin has a bigger role than some of the others. You see, at this point of the story, we have 2 Titan shifters a part of the Eldian group. The first one is big bad protagonist Eren, but the second one is the colossal Titan Armin. And well, he was tasked to do a lot more damage around the harbor compared to other characters. And this is all because his colossal Titan has the explosion ability. Now I want to say this to be clear, I don't believe that Armin Arlert really wanted to do this, but to prevent a counterattack happening towards his friends, he had to either do this or you just let them get attacked. And you can see within the character's face that he does not approve of what happened. Not only does Armin feel bad for all the victims of his explosion, it was very difficult for him to look Eren in the eye. And this is a great telling showing what Eren and Armin have a split between. You see, Eren's freedom has not happened yet. However, Armin, he's already achieved that when he saw the sea. And now he's kind of getting pulled into bad situations because of his friend. Now everything that happened happens after the attack on Marley is really a reaction because of what Eren chose to do. Leading up to the climax of Attack on Titan, Armin has to go through a lot of pain to get to where he has to go. I'm talking about him getting shot, which is crazy, getting beat up by his best friend calling him spineless, and also almost getting caught in an explosion that would have killed him on sight. I mean, realistically, this happens left and right, and Armin has to continue to deal with it until he gets a chance to respond. But for the most part, during a deep dive with characters realizing what they've done, Armin takes it on the chin, saying what he did against the attack against Marley, he wished he never did at all. But the biggest moment of this reflection is Armin calls himself a sinner, even though he really didn't choose to do this. I mean, take it for granted, he did go out there and transform. However, it was all a reaction to what Eren chose to do. Let me take a step back and reiterate just so we're on the same page. Armin Arlert was actually never the problem, even if he took accountability for what he did. Truth be told, Armin only followed orders as to what he had to do to try and protect a friend. So it's hard to say what he did is necessarily evil when he didn't want to do it in the first place. Now I get it, some people may disagree with that, and that is perfectly fine. However, when we get to the later portion of season 4, we realize that Armin becomes the main character of the series. And once this happens, his goal is devoted to stop Eren at all costs. Now for clarity, let's talk about the goal that Eren wanted to achieve that Armin did his best to stop. Eren Yeager believed in taking other people's freedom before they take from you. And even if he was successful getting rid of majority of the population, Armin and his friends still would have been alive. At no point on Eren's radar were they the target. However, to try and stop Eren, Armin jeopardized his life as well as his relationship that could have been to try to stop Eren. Within the final 2 episodes of Attack on Titan, you see Armin take that leadership role. Armin and the others realize the only way to stop Eren is to actually kill Eren. And of course, it was never their actual goal to do so if they could reason with him. Now luckily for us, we get a cool fight scene between both of them that we always wanted to see. But the most significant part of this situation comes for when they finally get to talk at the very end. Now, unlike some other weird I don't want context people, this is really good to have, especially within the anime. Give me a reason as to why not only the antagonist does what they do, but why our hero characters have a conflict with the other party. Now during this conversation, it's really a telltale of why Eren did what he did, but Armin still became a character that can sympathize with what happened as well as put blame on himself. After hearing this full conversation, no way you can walk out of here saying that Armin is at fault for anything that happened. Plus, after the death of Eren, Armin still does his best to protect his friends, as well as the person that killed 90% of the population. So when we circle back to the main question, is Armin actually a hero or a villain? And after looking at all the facts we just examined, I would say he's a very tragic hero. I don't believe anything he ever did was wrong or even malicious. Could you say that those acts themselves were bad? Then yes, of course. But to me, this is a hero if I've ever seen one. So to put a nice little bow on this conversation, I have to say that Armin Arlert is not only a hero, but also one of the best anime characters written in history. But look, I'm not gonna continue to glaze. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. And I know you're looking for more Attack on Titan content because I would if I was you. So go check out this video that I hinted at earlier that I know you love. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Take care.